This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Pursue Fitness Sportswear. Delighted to be joined, as always, by former WBA super middleweight champion of the world, George Groves. We're here at the Loma-Campbell final press conference. Now I've got all that out of the way. How you doing, George?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Good. We're finally here. Lomachenko versus your old mate and your old stablemate, Luke Campbell. Talk to me about the fight.
Yeah, well, it's a great fight, isn't it? I mean, I've been a campaigner to get people interested in this because, we are spoiled. Like, we are spoiled with the talent that's going to be on show in this main event. This fight doesn't matter about the supporting cast, the undercard. It's Luke Campbell, one of our very best, and even if people haven't realised that yet, he will rise to the occasion, fighting the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet. I did a tweet the other day, and I put Lomachenko as greatest of all time, and I was rushing, as you always are, right, tweet. And I wouldn't say like possibly, do you know what I mean? Possibly, maybe, sort of future, but in whatever I written, it didn't sound right, and I just put it down as. So I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time yet, but he might be one day. He might be considered it because he's a phenomenal fighter. Do you know what I mean? I remember seeing him box when we were 16, 17 years old, and we went to the World Championships in Morocco. Cuba sent 6 fighters, 5 of them won gold, 1 got a silver, and the guy in the final got beat by Lomachenko. You know what I mean? And Lomachenko fought the whole tournament, so he'd done 5 fights orthodox, and 4 fights orthodox, and turned up in the final and fought southpaw, and outpointed him. So if you got 20 points ahead back then when we was amateur, 20 points ahead, they stopped the fight. Who gets 20 points ahead of a Cuban? Do you know what I mean? And this Cuban was good. Lomachenko was better. So after that, none of us liked him. Do you know what I mean? I ain't liked him ever since. They can't appreciate someone that good. But followed his career to a certain degree and enjoyed it. But this is sport, and nothing is a foregone conclusion. And it's about being in the right place at the right time, with the right prep, with the right mindset. And I truly believe that one of my oldest pals in boxing, and someone who I've admired and learnt from over the years, Luke Campbell, this is his time. Like, he is in a great position. He's highly motivated. He's got it all to gain. He's got the experience banked now. He's had the frustration. He's still got the desire and the hunger in his belly. He's got a lot of advantages that aren't necessarily given when you're this much of an underdog. But he's got home advantage. He's got height and reach we spoke about. He's got good punch power. He's got to contend with Lomachenko's speed and agility, of course. But he's got the tools that you would want to have to navigate against those attributes that Lomachenko has. So I just believe that I know, I've seen it, I can visualise it. Lomachenko's vastly experienced. He's not going to be fazed by pretty much anything, but I assumed he would expect his opponent to come here quite phased today and let the occasion start getting to him, maybe perceived nervous. Maybe that nervousness might manifest into some sort of hype or aggression or something. But Luke's in a great place. He's cool, calm, collected. He's ready, and he's saving it. And you can see Lomachenko, he's probably expecting a bit more. Pressure's on him. Pressure's always on him. And he's coming over here. He would have prepared diligently. The guys that I spoke to at Sky, who went out to see him training in Ukraine, said that he's beasting himself to get himself in shape. But he's got it all to do here. I believe he's got it all to do, and he's got it all to lose. And Campbell's got it all to gain.
You mentioned your extensive kind of relationship with Campbell and the fact that he's one of your oldest friends in boxing. Something we've spoken about before is you used to be roommates as amateurs. What was that like for people who maybe haven't seen you talk about it before?
It was all right. There was bigger arseholes on the squad, do you know what I mean? And I'm sure he'd say the same about me. He was relatively clean. There was no dirty pants hanging around. He wasn't up all night. He's skinny as a rake, so he never used to leave sweets and chocolate laying around for me to eat. He was a great roommate. He was like, there might be a squad of 12 or maybe even more. So we always had a good connection, and we were the ones who sort of qualified from that cadet phase, as well as Anthony Agogo and a couple of others who were a little bit younger than us. So And we medalled at the major tournaments, so we always got brought forward. So we ended up becoming quite good pals, and so we ended up rooming together when we could. I did at the start. He was tiny. Do you know what I mean? A little bit obnoxious. Do you know what I mean? And like in the 40-something kilos, I think. You know, he was like the lightest, not the second lightest, and he was just like a little squirt. I was like, ah. But then he won my respect with his skill, and then as time went on, obviously after a few tournaments, I realised, nah, he's all right. He's all right. But yeah, I bottled out. I got to about 20, and I was like, nah, I can't hack this racket no more. I'm going pro. He hung around for London, and in the meantime, won so many major medals at the major tournaments, and obviously, which would have meant nothing if he didn't win the gold medal at London, and he did. So hats off to him. He done something that would have taken a crazy amount of discipline, focus, and risk. It would take more. It takes nuts. Like, you know, maybe it's different for everyone else, but for me, when I was in the system, it was like I want a medal because I want my target and goals was always to become a professional and win all them accolades, become a world champion, and I wasn't really prepared to sacrifice those opportunities by hanging around and hopefully winning an Olympic medal. So I went over, but Campbell stayed with it. You know, he spent another 4 years. He was close to 25, I think, when he turned over. So, but in that process, he gained so much experience, became so much of a better fighter, fighting the best fighters all over the world. So, best amateurs in the world. And now we know that these guys, the guys that do turn pro, they're winning world titles after a handful of fights. You know, half a dozen fights. You know, Lomachenko here, he's had a dozen fights or something, and he's already multiple weight world champion. So, you know, these guys are good fighters. Campbell's got that experience. And now it's just, he's got to put it together Saturday night.
We've spoken about this, or people have spoken about this in the build-up, the fact that Campbell has had his ups and downs throughout his professional career, both inside the ring and outside the ring. Similar to your own career in a sense of not everything went your way the whole time. What do you think that will give him going into this fight, the fact that he's had those experiences on the way to this fight?
Well, if you use them to your advantage, if you've been through tough situations, you don't always have to come through them completely, you know, and by that I mean win. But then you learn from them, and that is what he has done. You know, he lost a split decision against Jorge Linares, who was at the time was one of the best fighters out there. Do you know what I mean? And he was well and truly the away fighter. You know, when he lost to Mendy, he took that fight when he wasn't well. He knew he shouldn't have taken it, and it's not. He's never. I don't think he's really spoke about it publicly. He's not looking for sympathy, but he had sort of a part-time relationship with his pro coach. Then he was still on the road a lot, travelling. He wasn't focused. He wasn't settled. And then after losing that fight, he went to Florida to train with, you know, a Cuban coach. So he's always been willing to make the huge sacrifices to put his boxing first. But I felt that, much like myself, he just made a couple of decisions that could have been better. You know, now being fixed in London with an experienced coach and a winning team. You know, he's got fantastic sparring on tap with Josh Taylor, and you know, being London based, he can just bring guys in whenever he needs to. He's gone from strength to strength. He's back in the public eye here in the UK instead of being sort of off the radar and having to box in the States and train out in the States. That can be comforting to a fighter. It's definitely comforting to Luke. I feel he's in a better place. He's a better fighter than ever, and he's ready. He's good to go. He's in a fantastic place.
And just finally, before I let you go, you've been very vocal on Twitter, and to anyone who's stuck a camera in your face, about how you feel Luke Campbell will win this fight. Does he win the fight by knockout or decision?
It doesn't matter. You know, he's just got to win. Like that is it, man. You just got to win. Like that, and that is sport in its essence. You know what I mean? It's like, what do we do it for if it's not to win? He's just got to win. He's got to win. And what's the game plan for Lomachenko? Do you have a strict game plan for Lomachenko? Because he's one of the most versatile fighters there are out there. You know, you just need to be versatile yourself, change and adapt to make sure you're the one, you know, in control of the fight. That would be my advice to him. That is what he's prepared for. That is what he will go out there and do. If you knock him out, wonderful. If you beat him on points, wonderful. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because all you got to do is win, mate, and you get all them belts. Absolutely every door you could ever imagine will open to you. You will be in full control, in charge of everything, and who knows what to expect? Who knows what will come? So I just want to go out there and do himself the justice that he can do, put in a fantastic performance, box to his very best ability, and beat the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world.
All of this excitement, does it ever get the competitive juices flowing again, George?
Nah, not yet. I signed up Lomachenko, I thought I'd do him. Then I thought, maybe what if I can't? He's got really little feet. It's a bit disturbing. But no, not yet. Not yet. I said to her, I want to be inspired. I think you might inspire me Saturday night. 100%. I might get inspired. Whether that's enough to actually do anything about it, who knows? Probably not. Likely not. But I am looking forward to being inspired.
Okay, well, George Groves, as always, real pleasure. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thanks, Rob. Nice one.